Hi, this is Michael from Taipei Computer Association, the co-organizer of Computex Taipei and Innovex. As a nonprofit organization, our mission is to be the ambassador of both ICT and startup industries, also to connect the professionals worldwide. So we know the time has been hard since the pandemic begins, and that's why we're gathering here today to share insights and aspects from our startups, accelerators, also corporations. And combine our force together, we believe we can fight the pandemic and survive in this pandemic era. So first, I would like to introduce our panelists today, Mr. Vinit, and from the CEO of Irigain. Mr. Vinit is an expert in neuroscience and also speech therapies for more than 25 years. And next, we have Mr. Chonghang Li, the co-founder and CSO of OSD. And last, we have Mr. David Ye, the principal of BE Accelerator, and he's also a professional in medical and startup territories. Please say hi to our audience, dear guests.
Hello.
Hi. Okay, so in the beginning, we know the entire medical system is important during the pandemic. Yet, in our point of view, other territories such as rehabilitation should not be ignored. So first, I would like to ask Mr. Vinit, as a startup that developed a revolutionary device, digital in-home rehabilitation devices, how is Irigain's product different from the standard of care currently? And also, how is COVID-19 impact your current progress? And of course, last, we want to know, in your point of view, your professional experience, how will you see the future and the past of the healthcare industry? Mr. Vinit?
Well, when you look at the current standard of care, when someone gets a stroke, a part of their the hand function is compromised, they're unable to use their hands. And the current standard of care offers therapy in-house with a therapist one-on-one. And when you look at that from a COVID perspective, they really cannot get that service anymore. So what we at Irigain do is to provide the same service in a very micromanaged way, in a very expert and personalized way in the comfort of the patient's home. So on one side, the patient gets really, really good care in the comfort of their home. On the other side, they can still connect with their clinician through the telemedicine, telerehab, at any point they want. So when you think of the difference between the current and what we offer, in the current, the patient has to go all the way to a hospital or a clinic and back every single time. What we offer, they can sit at home in the comfort of their home and get the same therapy. Number two, in the current standard of care, they have to go to the hospital maybe 2 times, 3 times. But what if they want to do it 20 times a week? Our options will allow them the same benefit in the comfort of their home. How do we take this moving forward? Well, it's very simple. Give them the care they really need, connect them with the clinicians they really want to connect with so that they get the best care, while at the same time, it saves money for the companies involved, for the government insurance involved. So it's a win-win for the clinician, win-win for the government, win-win for the patients. It's a win-win for everybody. And at the best, the patient gets back to work and gets back to normal, get back to living an independent life.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Vinit. And so how do you see the current healthcare industry and the future in your point of view? Would you like to share with us?
From our point of view, we believe Taiwan is a very critical point in our market expansion. Taiwan is a very advanced economy. It has very advanced hospitals and rehab centers. So we will get the chance to clinically test our products in that environment. Number two, Taiwan has extremely good clinical expertise and manufacturing expertise. So we could potentially tie up with potential partners in Taiwan to manufacture our products there. And lastly, most importantly as well, Taiwan is in an area that controls about 50 to 60% of the world's population. Between all of the Southeast Asian countries, China and India, It's a very large market space. And that is one of those things that we would really like to capitalize on. And we would like to enter the Taiwanese market first and take it from there.
Thank you. And, as a Taiwanese organization of startups, we are very happy to hear it. So in Mr. Vinet's point of view, and you can see Taiwan maybe is the future, of the healthcare market. So make sure other gentlemen or our audience, you're watching, make sure you follow the trends. Thank you, Mr. Vinet.
Precisely.
And thank you. And next, we would like to ask Mr. Lee, the co-founder of CEO. Also, we know your startup is currently stationed in Taiwan Startup Terrace, the ideal place for startup to develop, and also an international startup clusters. So, Mr. Lee, would you tell us, OSD's mission is to create happy and health value through the ITs. And we know your devices is really revolutionary. One-hand devices and other technologies you have. So would you please tell us how will you fulfill the goals? And also, of course, and in your point of view as a startups and a professional, how do you see the future or the past experience of the healthcare industry? Mr. Lee.
Hello, I'm Douglas. First of all, thank you so much for Startup Terrace. As a foreign startup, through Startup Terrace, we were able to meet various Taiwanese distributors and healthcare industry through the program. And back to the fulfilling of the goal with our revolutionary technologies. About 10 years ago, I was diagnosed with prediabetes and I realized people who have limited access to health data still need to visit hospital or clinics to conduct offline checkups or spend thousands of dollars to receive personal guidance or trainers. I thought all these methods were expensive, time-consuming, and inconvenient, especially during COVID-19. Therefore, I founded an OSD with vision to re-image wellness care to help people find healthy lifestyle anytime, any places. Today, with our solution Fitris, people can measure 12 vital health data within 5 seconds through in-house developed pocket-sized device. And trainers and clinicians can monitor their customer or patients through Fitris dashboard, and Fitris analyze each individual's health data to provide personalized exercise and nutrition guidance along with insurance discount from activity levels. Our ultimate goal is to provide data service by developing an algorithm that predicts, analyzes, and prevents metabolic syndrome anytime and any places. By leveraging our vital health data that we have been collecting from years to years from our own pocket-sized device and provide personalized post-care service to maximize health, engagement, and productivity.
Thank you, Mr. Lee. So may I say, in your point of view, like the future of the healthcare, we heard many keywords also from Mr. Vinet is like digital and long distancing. Is there what you're thinking about the future of healthcare?
Yes, definitely. Especially after COVID-19, this digital health space have been growing, and we believe even within digital health space, digital fitness have been growing around $1 billion revenue from 2022. And we believe even in future, there will be more wearables and pocket-sized device will be invented to help people provide remote service from trainers, clinicians, or all these different sections of expertise people.
Thank you. Very, very interesting because in the traditional, we were also picturing the medical devices is large and probably will be put in the hospitals. But now, thank you for our startups for sharing. We know the future probably we will have in-hand devices like OSD and also in-home devices like Airgain. And thank you for sharing. And now let's learn from the other aspect a little bit more. So next we would like to have Mr. David Ye. And we know BE Accelerator has been supported by professional medical organizations and also dedicated to helping healthcare startups. So please tell us, Mr. David, in your experience, how do you foresee the proliferation of telemedicine after the pandemic? And also, this is probably many people are asking, is this time for real? People will move back to the traditional way of seeking treatments after the COVID-19.
Thank you for your question, Michael. In Taiwan, we have a very dense medical resources. So for us to explore telemedicine, especially during COVID-19, where last year we didn't have as many cases or as in the world, so we're functioning normally. So we get to see on both sides of the world right away, where in COVID-19 exploded in Europe and in the US, the telemedicine really really boomed because people want to seek treatment, they want to see their doctor right away, and when they have questions, they want to consult their doctor. So we see three waves. The very first wave is the teleconsultation. So people ask about questions, they get diagnosed, or they get their question answered. But still, we see that the value, the ultimate value of treating people is not being delivered. So quickly, we see the second wave where people get not only consultation, but prescription. So when you deliver drug, when you're able to deliver drug efficiently, you get a really high valuation. But then again, just the drug itself, you're still not going to get the full treatment you needed. You still need to go back to your doctor. And a lot of times the doctors say that they want to see the patient physically. So when you have that combined with that, what is it that the doctor needs to get the full treatment to patients? So this way we see the third wave, which is called the prescription digital therapeutics, which is combined the machines such as the iRegain, the physical therapy. There's a machine that actually teach you how to rehabilitation, or you see something like OSD where you're transmitting mass amount of data to physician where they can do proper diagnose, see your changes in your person, see your status, and go back to fixing maybe your dosage, or see what exactly teach you what exactly you need to do right now to change or to improve your status. So in a way, and this fits to another category that's very important in healthcare, which is the payer who pays. So if you're only going to target wellness, a lot of time people pay out of pocket and they really don't understand of the importance of preventative medicine. But when they need to fix themselves, when you have the payers that comes in, then you need to have something that doctors can prescribe. So combining with something that doctor can prescribe, you're making your device into a software as medical device or a category 2 medical device. Then suddenly you have the interest for payer to pay and doctor to prescribe. So the whole ecosystem is now complete. And from this day on, because the ecosystem is complete, you have the prescriber, you have the payer, you have the solution provider. This is why we think that telemedicine is for real this time.
Exactly. Thank you, Mr. David. And also, I would like to ask a small question. Probably many startups want to know. So startups and our audience, if you are watching, please remember to take notes. So as an accelerator, what is the most important characteristic to you? What is the most valuable characteristic to you and BE accelerators when you are helping or discovering startups? Would you like to share with us?
Right. So we really want the founders to know where the unmet medical needs are. So they're not just thinking about a technology, but where is that solution going to benefit patient and why is it benefiting? What's the prevalence of that disease? And why your solution is an unmet need. For example, like the first example, the first speaker that showed, right? At home, you're not getting the detailed care unless there's a clinician with you. But their device, they somehow give you that. So in the day of COVID-19, that's unmet medical needs. And the second is, once you understand that unmet need, you know exactly where your milestone is. It may not be revenue, right? It might be the regulatory process that you need to get. So the PLC that you need to get, the feasibility study, and ultimately getting that 510K or de novo clearance from FDA. So unmet medical needs and the milestones you need to be landed in the medical ecosystem.
Thank you, Mr. Ye. Those are very valuable points of view. So make sure you note startups and our dear audience. And the last part, we have a quick question, one answer at a time. So for all of our panelists, so in short, Please tell us what is the one and your best strategy. Only one strategy you treat it as the most important to face the post-COVID era. So we will start from Mr. Vinit.
Well, the most important strategy is to put the patient in the center. If you meet the patient's needs, then everything else is met. In our case, our clientele are disabled and they're sitting at home. If you could improve their function, get them back to life, they could be productive in the economy. They could potentially be independent, so they're not dependent on the healthcare system. They could reduce the burden on their own caregivers at home or outside. And that is a significant factor. So the key is to put the patient in the center, provide them the care they need, so everybody else benefits from that.
Thank you, Mr. Vinit. The clinics and the center and the patients. And next we have Mr. Lee. Would you please, in short, share one most important strategy for us after the COVID-19?
Yes, I also totally agree with what he just said. Always put center of your customer, because how we were able to pivot our business from old business to after COVID was try to understand how our specific customers' behavior changed after the COVID-19. So, for example, before COVID-19, our business model was just one-time hardware sales. So our main target audience was 20 to 40 years old, were willing to conduct healthy lifestyle. But after COVID, one of our hardware sales been dropped out for around 40%. So we had to pivot our business. And that way we look into specific persona of our customer, of how these customers change their behavior from before COVID and after COVID. And most of our customers were placed at home doing their work from remotely at home, and they were also doing a lot of home fitness. That's how we started our first online PT subscription model, where we provide not just selling device, but also use that device to actually pursue healthy lifestyle through our AI exercise and nutrition guidance. So always important to understand who your key customer is and how their behavior changed through the COVID-19 and even after COVID-19.
Exactly. Audience and TA is everything. And last but not least, Mr. David Ye, would you please, in short, share one most important strategy for us after the COVID-19?
Thank you. I think, Michael, you said it. It's know your TA. You have to have pinpoint precision in knowing who you're targeting, so you can design your business model and so when they talk about being patient-centric, their positioning, their customer to be the patient. But a lot of time it's really the physician. Sometimes it's the insurer. So know your target audience so you can design your proper business model, and that's a winning combination.
Thank you. And probably because we know starting a business like healthcare, no matter or technologies, is not really easy. So when you're running the long road, you still need gas. So make sure TA is everything. And also, I would like to say thank you for you joining us. Now it's time to wrap up. We're very happy to have our speakers today and learn more about the modern healthcare. It is not just about the treatments or going to the hospitals. Maybe in the future, it is also a part of your life. Just like our startups just developed their devices in-home digital, but still, like Mr. Davis says, from the point of view of the accelerator, they keep the vibe, they keep the atmosphere of people engaging, not just selling the devices, which is very insightful and helpful. And also, Innovex, of course, will continue to have more contents on June 3rd. So make sure the audience, you follow us on YouTube channel, and we will have more programs on our websites, of course. So make sure, don't forget to like and subscribe, and also click the bell icon of our channels, and you won't miss everything. And thank you for joining us, our panelists today. This is Innovex. See you next time. Say goodbye to our audience, Mr. Speakers,
Bye.
gentlemen. See you next time.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, David. Thank you, Douglas. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.